What's up, nerds? I'm Kendrick, your not-so-friendly neighborhood otaku, and welcome to my channel where I talk all things anime, manga, manhwa, webcomics, and cosplay. If that's the type of thing you're into, make sure to subscribe. Today we're going to be watching episode 34 of the Apothecary Diaries. Really quickly, before I get started, y'all, check out this shin sweater. It's so fucking dope. This is from s2e10's collaboration with Viz Media. They have a couple of other Dorohedoro sweaters and shirts out there, so if you love the series as much as I do, go check it out. Since I will be watching and reacting to episode 34 of the Apothecary Diaries, as always, if you have not seen this, pause this video, go watch it, and then come back if you don't want spoilers. But without any further ado, let's get into it. Oh, thank God Consort Kyokyo is getting more ladies in waiting. She's about to have her second child. She's favored by the emperor, and yet somehow she had the least amount of people working for her. This is why people learning about her pregnancy and Lady Shin having abortifacients brought into the palace was such a big deal. She not only needs more people on her side, she needs more eyes and ears looking out for her. She got them mixed up. Not her inheriting her bio-dad's face blindness with these siblings. She cannot tell them apart. Aw, that's so sweet. They're gonna wear headbands so that she knows who they are. I love that she's literally clinging to the doorframe because she doesn't want to leave the storage shed where all of the goodies are. Look at all of the things. Of course Mama's not gonna want to leave there. Ooh, Lady Hongyoung is not to be fucked with. Did we forget her Kapidan from last episode? Just dragging them away. What a lovely introduction to the three new ladies in waiting. Anytime an anime zooms in on someone's smile like this, they are up to no good. Yeah, that smile's giving me like Kakagurui vibes. Oh, I remember this now. The manga, and even more so the light novel, are so far ahead of the anime that even though I've read it, I forgot some of these like smaller side plots or details. This gives me such sleepover vibes because when girls get together and have sleepovers, or at least the ones I've been to, they involve things like ghost stories and spooky or witchy shit. A lot of which is rooted in either rumors or folk tales, just like these ghost stories. It's just a fun little pastime us girlies have. This poor monk is just trying to chant a sutra as a way to repay them for letting him crash for the night, and yet they're arguing loud enough for him to hear, and he's like, should I intervene? Is this something that I should like stop chanting for? It's so funny to me. Just that little tiny like, it's probably not funny to anyone else, but him just being like, should I intervene, is so funny to me. And it's a good thing he didn't stop chanting, because what the fuck is that? I like how they did the subtitles to even show that like something is off with the voice. There's like some distortion happening there. Oh, they can't see you if you're chanting. Keep going, old monk. Also, did you guys see that shadow? Let's go back a little bit. That shadow when they ran away looked weird. Yeah, their shadow isn't like the shadow of the being that they show there. Oh, the eating. Oh, that was some really good crunching effect. I don't like that. Oh, it's a good thing he kept chanting, or else he would have been eaten. Come on, Mama, recognize her. You know who she actually is. Come on. What's s2e's other identity? Ooh, again, anytime a character is smiling like that, nothing good will come. I do not like it. Oh, Mama's dozing off. Stay awake, Mama. Something's happening. We don't need the ghost story. Something's going on. Oh, and it's a story of the previous emperor. Yeah, I wonder if the fire being lit in a closed room that has no open windows and no chimney to let air circulate is gonna cause a problem. Yes, let's go, Mama. Figure it out. Y'all are sleepy, y'all are tired, y'all are dizzy, y'all are passing out. You're getting carbon monoxide poisoning. I love how it's historically accurate by calling it bad air. Like, that's how we get even with malaria. It's malaria, it's bad air. It's during like the humors period of time. Ooh. Girlie, what are you doing? I love when we get logical explanations for folk tales like this. I studied medical anthropology in undergrad and really loved learning about like folk remedies and folk medicine. One example I always remember is out of somewhere in Mexico. I can't remember where exactly, but when you were really anxious, what you would do is you would take like a strip or a rope of fabric, and while chanting or praying or saying some type of repetitive statement, you would tie knots in it, and you would tie 7 of them, and then the 8th one would tie it together so that it was a full circle. Then you would take that fabric circle, put it in a jar, dig a hole, and bury that jar in the ground, again while chanting, praying, or repeating a statement. Through a modern science lens, we can look at that and we can study it and say you are literally doing practices of meditation and grounding work, which both relieve anxiety. So there is science, there is logic behind why you are doing that, but you didn't know that. You just knew that this is what worked. There's so many examples of these in like folk tales and old wives' tales and things like this. The forest had things that were both edible and inedible, and because people weren't able to decipher between which is which, they would just say like, hey, that forest is bad, that forest is forbidden, you could die when you eat things from there. And over time, people would just lose that kind of educational portion of what a folktale is, because folktales are meant to teach kids and kind of warn the general public. But once you lose the root of that, you're kind of just like, oh, it's a superstition that the forest is forbidden. You don't know why exactly it is. And there's so many examples of different folktales or old wives' tales and folk medicine that can be validated through modern science. There's also ones that are wild and rooted in nothing beneficial, but that doesn't mean we should dismiss all folk remedies or folk medicine just because it was created before we could validate it. That's something we have to do posthumously, which is probably why I love this series so much. We have to remember that folktales were meant to educate children and warn the general public. So Mama was talking about how this forest was considered forbidden because there were things there that you could eat and things that were inedible and harmful to you, but they couldn't differentiate between the two. So they just said, hey, don't go there, don't do that, because you could die. But during times of famine, during times of struggle, that kind of goes out the door. You're just looking for food. You just want to get your hands on whatever you can, but you're so far removed from the educational purpose or warning to the general public of that folktale that you see it more as a superstition that this forest is forbidden. And again, you're in a time of need, so you're just trying to get your hands on any food you can. But because you see this as a superstition rather than as a way to warn the public of like, hey, don't eat from this forest, you could die, and you're already starving to death, you're going to try and get your hands on whatever you can. And one of those things just happens to be something you shouldn't eat because it'll be harmful to you. Hey, yeah, just general warning. If it glows in the dark, don't eat it. You shouldn't put that in your body. Although, I did learn in college that Keystone beer glows green under a black light, so do with that what you will. It's not a powerful poison, but because they were in a time of famine and they were really weak, the poison affected them that much more. So again, the folktales warning and like educational purpose disappeared, one, because they were removed from it and saw it as a superstition, and two, because they were in a time of famine. You do not care, you just want food. Not Hangyang scaring Yinghua even more than the ghost stories did. Oh, she got so scared that she needed to sleep with Mao Mao. She's cuddling so close. Girlie is nervous. She's so precious though. Aw, Jinchi looks so sad there, but determined. Ooh, I'm ready for it. The frog episode is here, guys. I am so excited for this. I cannot wait to see how they animate it. I say it every week, but again, what a great episode of the Apothecary Diaries, and the frog episode is finally here. If you've read the manga, even if you haven't, I'm sure you've already heard bits and pieces of people talking about the frog episode, but it's so good. I'm so excited for it. And I think I finally cracked the code on why I love the Apothecary Diaries so much. It's because of my background in medical anthropology and epidemiology and public health. I'm a huge science health nerd, and I love looking at those things through historical lens and comparing them to modern lenses. So this is just right up that alley. I hope you love this episode just as much as I did. The ghost stories are always so fun for me. And again, it gives me that nostalgia of like a childhood sleepover. I'm so excited for next episode though. I cannot wait to see how they animate it. With this little sneak peek here in the preview, I'm ready for it. I just want to know how much time we're going to be spending on that like 3 to 4 page section of the manga that is the frog. I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't read and who have somehow maintained a spoiler-free notion for what the frog episode is referring to. But that is all for today, folks, and I will see you next time.